the idea of being an apprentice of Jesus, I really like that description of who we are in this day and time. As opposed to Christian, disciple, follower. You know, we can't use the word Christian anymore because we have no idea what that means to the person we're talking to. And the word disciple, for me, I'll just speak for myself, is just kind of a churchy word, and I'm not sure what that really means. And for me, I cannot look at myself as a follower of Jesus because what I picture in my head is that he's over there, he's up there, and I'm just trying to catch up, trying to keep up. And, you know, but I don't know what for sure he's doing up there. I'm just trying to catch up and keep up. Do you remember the WWJD phenomenon of years ago? What would Jesus do? That's a follower question. And that's the wrong question. It should have been what JD. What is Jesus doing? That's an apprentice question. What is Jesus doing right now? See, I like the word apprentice because an apprentice is someone who's engaged in hands-on learning. Right there with the master, beside the master, seeing what he is doing in that moment and learning to do it themselves. For me, that makes sense. And as apprentices of Jesus, we're literally learning a trade from Jesus. How to be people of the kingdom. But that's a whole other sermon series someday. So another thing that true wisdom is not is a guarantee that we'll come out on top. Nope. He causes the rain, or he causes the sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. Right? Matthew 3 or 5, 4 and 45. And besides that, we have a very limited, short-term, temporal, materialistic, circumstantial definition of what it means to come out on top. Right? I mean, we think of that in terms of our circumstances, all of that. But ultimately, we're going to come out on the top of the top of the top. Yeah. And so, in this life, wisdom is not a guarantee that we're going to come out on top here, now, because we did it all right. And if we ever study the book of Revelation, wink, wink, we'll find out that we come out on the top of the top of the top. True wisdom is not intelligence. It's not being smart, right? I'm going to tell you something that I know it's going to come as a shock, but when I was young, I actually had some of that. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Scott, if that's true, what happened? Well, I haven't been the same since the incident. It was a bullfighting accident in Madrid, and I did this when I should have done that. And no, there was no incident, and I've never been a matador or even been to Spain. And I have no excuse for the state of my brain these days, but I cling in hope to the words of that great American poet, Garth Brooks. I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. But here's my point, after all that silliness. Did this intelligence help me navigate real life any better? No, but wisdom would have. Did intelligence help me understand emotional dynamics any better? No, but wisdom would have. Did it help me gain in maturity? Did it help me be less selfish and stingy? Did it help me be a better friend? Did it help me better love the people closest to me? Did it even help me decide what I wanted to be when I grew up? No. In fact, I only figured that out about 2 years ago. I'm serious. Who's going to ask me what that is? Well, an astronaut. No, seriously, honestly, truthfully. What I want to be when I grow up is an ordinary man living an ordinary life, learning to better love the people that Jesus puts in my life. And that includes each one of you, by the way. And I'm sorry I'm so bad at it. But I'll be better in the new creation, I promise. Finally, true wisdom is not a guarantee we won't suffer. And this launches us into the book of Job. So I'm going to read from the scroll of Job this morning, and I'm going to read chapters 1 and 2, and you can follow along in your Bible if you want, or just listen. It's an amazing story, and this isn't too long. So there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was blameless, upright, fearing God, and turning away from evil. And 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him. His possessions also were 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and very many servants. And that man was the greatest of all the men of the East. And his sons used to go and hold a feast in the house of each one on his day, and they would send and invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. Job was a billionaire in his culture. And it came about when the days of feasting had completed their cycle that Job would send and consecrate them, rising up early in the morning and offering burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, "Perhaps my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts." Thus Job did continually. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. These are supernatural beings, not human beings. Satan also came among them. And the Lord said to Satan, "From where do you come?" Then Satan answered the Lord and said, "From roaming about on the earth and walking around on it." And the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? For there is no one like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, fearing God and turning away from evil." Then Satan answered the Lord, "Does Job fear God for nothing? Hast thou not made a hedge about him and his house and all that he has on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But put forth thy hand now and touch all that he has. He will surely curse thee to thy face." It's interesting that Satan used the these and the thys and the thous. Isn't that interesting? Then the Lord said to Satan, "Behold, all that he has is in your power. Only do not put forth your hand on him." So Satan departed from the presence of the Lord. Now it happened on the day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house, that a messenger came to Job and said, "The oxen were plowing and the donkeys feeding beside them, and the Sabeans attacked and took them. They also slew the servants with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another also came and said, "The fire of God fell from heaven and burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another also came and said, "The Chaldeans formed 3 bands and made a raid on the camels and took them and slew the servants with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another also came and said, "Your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. And behold, a great wind came from across the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell on the young people, and they died. And I alone have escaped to tell you." Then Job arose and tore his robe and shaved his head, and he fell to the ground and worshipped. And he said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Through all this, Job did not sin, nor did he blame God. Now, I'm just going to paraphrase or summarize the second chapter. So, Satan shows up and talks to God again. And God says, hey, I let you do all that stuff to Job, and he still blessed me and did not curse me. And Satan says, well, yeah, but if you let me touch him, then he'll curse you to your face. And God says, okay, I give you permission to do that. And so then Job becomes ill. Then Satan went out from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. And Job took a potsherd, which is a piece of broken pottery, to scrape himself while he was sitting among the ashes. Then his wife said to him, do you still hold fast your integrity? Curse God and die. But he said to her, you speak as one of the foolish women speaks. Shall we indeed accept good from God and not accept adversity? In all this, Job did not sin with his lips. Now when Job's 3 friends heard of all this adversity, they came each from his own place, Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. And they made an appointment together to come and sympathize with him and comfort him. And when they lifted up their eyes at a distance and did not recognize him, they raised their voices and wept. And each of them tore his robe, and they threw dust over their heads toward the sky. Then they sat down on the ground with him for 7 days and 7 nights, with no one speaking a word to him. And they saw that his pain was very great. So that's chapters 1 and 2 of Job. In chapter 3, Job laments the day he was born. He literally curses the day he was born and says, I wish I had never been born. Then there are 34 chapters of Job's friends counseling him. More on this from Ellen next week, so no spoilers. Then 4 chapters of God himself speaking to Job. Then in the final chapter, Job's response to God, which we will get to. Where true wisdom begins. So remember, our outline is what true wisdom is not, where true wisdom begins, how true wisdom is acquired, and where true wisdom ends. Where true wisdom begins, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. That's in Proverbs, but this statement is made in other places in the wisdom literature in the Bible. So what is the fear of the Lord? Well, many scholars have translated fear in this context as reverence or awe, which is perfectly acceptable. But for me, that begs the question, well then, where does the reverence and the awe come from? What is the origin of that? What is the impetus for that? So I think we actually need to think a little deeper about what the fear of the Lord is. I think the idea of it just being reverence or awe, which is correct and acceptable, I think, though, that just barely scratches the surface. Several weeks ago, Ellen copied the preaching team on an article that she had found by Daniel J. Estes, who's a distinguished professor of the Old Testament and earned his PhD at the University of Cambridge. And in this article, Daniel Estes wrote this: more broadly, wisdom is a way of viewing the world that begins with Yahweh as the creator of the entire universe, who ordered it by his purpose. Because Yahweh is omniscient, there is recognizable design in his world, and because he is righteous, there is a moral order that structures his world. The beginning of wisdom is a worldview, and that's the origin of our reverence and awe. The beginning of wisdom is a worldview. And a worldview is the framework of beliefs, assumptions, and values through which an individual interprets reality and their place in it, shaping their perceptions, decisions, and interactions with the world. It functions like a lens informed by culture, education, and experience, and it provides answers to fundamental questions about existence, purpose, and morality. Okay, Scott, that was pretty academic. Our worldview is just the way we look at everything. And all kinds of things in our lives have formed the worldview through which we see the world, see reality, see God, see ourselves, see each other, see everything. We all have a worldview. And it was formed by our family of origin. It was formed by the culture of the country we live in, by the time we live in, by the people we have known, and on and on and on. So we have a worldview to start with. But wisdom is a worldview of seeing things, of having a lens like Jesus has. So the beginning of wisdom is an understanding of who God is, seeing his exact nature, and having that inform and create our worldview, our beliefs, assumptions, and values, which shape our perceptions, decisions, and interactions with the world. So let me read that one more time. The beginning of wisdom is an understanding of who God is, seeing his exact nature, and having that inform and create our beliefs, assumptions, and values, our worldview. For me, this makes all of the wisdom literature make sense. If we can see things from God's perspective, if we can have the same worldview that he has, that's wisdom. Does that make sense? Okay? This is how Job can say at the end of Calamity Day, which is what I call chapter 1 of the book, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. So the beginning of wisdom is seeing God himself, his exact nature. That's where true wisdom begins. Just going to let you sit with that for a second. The beginning of wisdom is seeing God for who he truly is, his exact nature, because that changes everything. So how do we, sitting here today in these chairs, see God himself and his exact nature? Christ, in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. Christ, the power of God and the wisdom of God. The one who has seen me has seen the Father. No one has seen God at any time. God, the only Son, who is in the arms of the Father, he has explained him. And he, Jesus, is the radiance of his glory and the exact representation of his nature. The exact representation of his nature, and upholds all things by the word of his power. I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. How is true wisdom acquired? By being an apprentice of Jesus, by knowing him, because he shows us the Father. he shows us God himself. He shows us God's exact nature. And when we see that, our worldview is changed. Everything is changed. Our worldview, which is the beginning of wisdom, is created by and through our relationship with Jesus, the way, the truth, and the life. And that is how true wisdom is acquired. You guys know that on the last Sunday of the month, for several months, we've been having someone from our church family share part of their story. And it's been really, really good, really encouraging. We're getting to know each other better, and the things that people share have been so encouraging to the rest of us. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but there is a common thread through all these stories. In every single one of them, God showed up and revealed himself to that person. And it changed their view of God, and it changed their view of themselves, and it allowed Jesus to rewrite their story from his point of view and show it to them. Right? You're all nodding, okay? That's the only thing that changes anything, is seeing God himself for who he really is, his exact nature. Where true wisdom ends. The conclusion, when all has been heard, is fear God and keep his commandments, because this applies to every person. But remember, we've defined what the fear of the Lord is. It's a worldview that we acquire by knowing Jesus, the exact representation of God's nature. It's this way of seeing God, his exact nature, that could allow Job to say in the middle of the book, "As for me, I know that my Redeemer lives, and in the end, he will take his stand upon the earth." Okay, this is before any of the prophets, right? How did Job know about his Redeemer taking his stand upon the earth in the end? Because he saw him. He saw him and he knew his exact nature. He is the Redeemer. And he will take his stand upon the earth. And then at the end of the book, here's what Job says. "I know that you can do anything, and no one can stop you. You ask who it is who has so foolishly denied your providence. It is I, me, Job. I was talking about things I knew nothing about and did not understand, things far too wonderful for me. Then you, God, said, 'Listen, and I will speak. Let me put the questions to you. See if you can answer them.'" That's what God said to Job. And then Job says, "But now I say, I had heard about you before, but now I have seen you. And I loathe myself and repent in dust and ashes." He who has seen me has seen the Father. Christ, in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. So where does wisdom end? This way of looking at the world, at everything, at God, at Jesus, at ourselves, at each other, at our culture. This worldview that is wisdom. Where does it end? How do we know when we're there? For Job, it ended this way. "Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him." And for Jesus, it ended this way. Father, if you are willing, remove this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done. When we can stand before the Father and with Jesus say this to him, we're there. Now we see reality the way God does. Can you even begin to imagine the freedom that there would be in having a relationship with the Father and knowing him and seeing him and understanding his exact nature to the point that you could say that and really mean it? Man, I want to get there. I want to get there. Okay, the worship team can come back up. And we usually have some prayer time at the end, which we're going to do. And but I want to do it a little bit differently, just in this sense. A lot of times, whoever teaches on Sunday morning will kind of have some suggestions for what you might think about, or how you might respond, or how you might pray based on the scriptures that we've looked at. This morning, I am not going to presume to have any idea what Jesus wants to say to you in light of this. So as the worship team leads us in worship, you can stand, sit, sing, not, pray to yourself, whatever. But just ask Jesus to reveal himself to you, to reveal the Father, to show you just a little more clearly how he sees things, who he is, what his nature is, and then whatever he brings you, whatever he shows you, whatever he says to you, just receive that.
I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up till I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Of your voice, you have led me through the fire. In darkest night, you were close like no other. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. 'Cause your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God. Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, Jesus, the name above every other. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you, for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you, we live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. We live for you.
like someone to pray with you this morning, we're going to have some people over here in this corner of the room at the back, and please feel free to make your way over there, and there'll be somebody there to pray with you.
We so treasure you in our lives. Help us to see you more clearly. That you would change us, that we would not be the same. Thank you for all your blessings in our lives. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, if you still need prayer, there are plenty plenty of folks who would be more than happy to pray over in the corner over here. Otherwise, have a great week, and we hope to see you